Gear up, Marvel fans. Captain America Brave New World has landed in theaters, and it's time to dive into the latest chapter of the Cap saga. This fourth installment marks Anthony Mackie's debut as Sam Wilson, the new Captain America, and promises to tie up loose ends from the Incredible Hulk while setting the stage for the next Avengers team. But does it live up to the legacy of its predecessors? Let's unpack the highs and lows of this ambitious yet flawed entry. Chash, a new captain, an old problem. The film opens with Sam Wilson stepping into the spotlight, finally taking up the mantle of Captain America after years of supporting Steve Rogers. But instead of focusing on Sam's journey to define what his Captain America stands for, the story shifts its attention to an unexpected figure, Thaddeus Ross, now played by Harrison Ford. Ross, once the Hulk Hunter General, has ascended to the presidency and becomes the film's emotional core. His transformation into the Red Hulk, teased in the trailers, is a major plot point, but it's his internal struggle for redemption that dominates the narrative. Here's the twist. Ross, a character who's been a thorn in the side of superheroes for years, is now the axis around which the entire movie revolves. The central question becomes whether Ross can change his ways and become a better man. Sam Wilson, despite being the titular hero, spends much of the film defending Ross's humanity, even though Ross has a history of imprisoning superhumans and wielding power recklessly. This dynamic raises a glaring question. Why does Sam have so much faith in a man who once locked him up? The film hints at this tension but never fully explores it, leaving Sam's motivations feeling undercooked and his character arc disappointingly shallow. A missed opportunity for drama. The movie sets up a fascinating conflict. Sam, a man who spent his life fighting for justice, is now working alongside a morally compromised president. But instead of diving into the complexities of this relationship, Brave New World retreats into safe, both sides platitudes. Sam's idealism is reduced to vague statements about seeing the best in people, while Ross's struggle for redemption is given far more weight. The result? Ross, thanks to Harrison Ford's magnetic performance, ends up being the most compelling character in the film. Meanwhile, Sam Wilson, our new Captain America, feels like he's coasting on Anthony Mackie's natural charm, rather than standing for something meaningful. There's a moment in the film where Ross tells Sam, "You're not Steve Rogers." It's a line that stings, not just because it's true, but because the movie doesn't do enough to show us what Sam's Captain America does stand for. Steve Rogers had a clear, unwavering moral compass. Sam, by comparison, feels undefined, his worldview muddled by the film's refusal to take a stand. Military fetishism and lost identity. One of the most glaring issues with Brave New World is its uncritical glorification of the US military. Nearly every major character in the film is tied to the military or government in some way. Sam, Joaquin Torres, the new Falcon, and even the villainous Serpent Society. While this might make sense in a Captain America story, it feels like a betrayal of the character's comic book roots. In the comics, Sam Wilson wasn't a military man. He was a social worker from Harlem who fought for his community. Joaquin Torres was a young activist helping immigrants at the border. These characters were defined by their resistance to systemic injustice, not their allegiance to the government. By stripping them of their adversarial edge, the MCU has turned them into cogs in the military machine, robbing them of the political depth that made them so compelling in the first place. This isn't just a problem for Sam and Joaquin. It's a symptom of a larger trend in the MCU, where even characters who were once independent vigilantes are now portrayed as agents of the state. Remember Tony Stark's famous line in The Avengers, "We are not soldiers." It's hard to take that seriously when Marvel Studios seems determined to turn its heroes into soldiers. A step back from political nuance. What makes Brave New World's military fetishism especially disappointing is that the MCU has proven it can tell politically nuanced stories. Iron Man 3 critiqued the military-industrial complex. The Winter Soldier exposed the dangers of unchecked government power. Thor: Ragnarok questioned the morality of nations built on conquest. These films dared to challenge the status quo, but Brave New World feels timid by comparison. It's more interested in individual redemption arcs than the larger systems that shape its characters' lives. This is particularly frustrating because Captain America, at his core, is a character who represents the ideal of America, not its reality. A step back from political nuance. What makes Brave New World's military fetishism especially disappointing is that the MCU has proven it can tell politically nuanced stories. Iron Man 3 critiqued the military-industrial complex. The Winter Soldier exposed the dangers of unchecked government power. Thor Ragnarok questioned the morality of nations built on conquest. These films dared to challenge the status quo, but Brave New World feels timid by comparison. It's more interested in individual redemption arcs than the larger systems that shape its characters' lives. This is particularly frustrating because Captain America, at his core, is a character who represents the ideal of America, not its reality. Steve Rogers famously fought against corrupt politicians and oppressive regimes in the comics, even abandoning the Captain America identity when he felt the government no longer aligned with his values. Sam Wilson's Captain America should be no different. He should be a symbol of hope and resistance, not a mouthpiece for vague, feel-good platitudes. Dream versus the reality. There's a famous line from the comics where Steve Rogers says, "I'm loyal to nothing, General, except the dream." It's a perfect encapsulation of what Captain America stands for. Not blind loyalty to the government, but a commitment to the ideals of justice, equality, and freedom. Sadly, Brave New World seems to have forgotten this. Instead of embracing the bold, politically charged storytelling that defined the best Captain America comics, the film retreats into safe, uninspired territory. Final thoughts. Captain America Brave New World is a film with a lot of potential but little follow-through. It introduces intriguing ideas: Sam Wilson's journey as the new Cap, Thaddeus Ross's redemption arc, the return of the Hulk mythology, but fails to explore them with the depth they deserve. Instead, it gets bogged down in military fetishism and half-baked moralizing, leaving its characters and themes feeling underdeveloped. For Marvel fans, it's a mixed bag. There are moments of excitement, especially when Harrison Ford's Ross takes center stage, but they're not enough to make up for the film's lack of courage and conviction. In the end, Brave New World feels neither brave nor new, just another missed opportunity in a franchise that once dared to dream bigger. So, what do you think? Does Sam Wilson's Captain America live up to the legacy of Steve Rogers, or does Brave New World fall short of its promise? Let's discuss in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the latest Marvel movies and shows. Your support helps us keep the conversation going. See you in the next one.